Summit Aleph. Okay. We're getting into interesting new concepts which many were never exposed to before. Okay? But we're a little bit before that. We're trying to understand the machlokes between Rameir and the Chachamim. Rameir says Mekadosh b'shtar b'kodeshes. The Chacham say Ein b'kodeshes. So the Gemara had explained that the argument is that you have a document, a marriage document that was written without Eidim. So Rameir says Ein b'kodeshes because Rameir says that a shtar, a document, to be a shtar kiddushin, to be a viable document, has to have witnesses signed in the document. Rabbi Lazar's opinion does not be signed in the document. Even if it's the transfer is witnessed by witnesses, that's sufficient. That's Eidim Yisir Rakati. However, Rebbe, he wasn't sure whether the halacha is like Rameir and the Chachomim. Therefore, he says that you evaluate the paper, and if the paper is worth minimally a pruta, it's a kinyan kesef. Okay? That's explained it. The Chachomim. 1 second. Ibo Seimu. I won't go further. I told you, that's what we discussed. Ibo Seimu. Go chekos v'shlo lishmo. The argument, I'll tell you, the witnesses in the document. The document was written properly in terms of the structure of the document. So what's the machlokes? The shtar kiddushin was written shlo lishmo. A get, nobody argues. A get has to be written lishmo. Has to be written specifically for this husband, for this wife, so on and so forth. What happens if a person, in advance, the sofer, he has many gittin written, in the eventuality that a person with these names, the husband and wife, would present themselves so he doesn't have to bother writing. So he pre-writes the documents. It's not valid. Whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Here, everything is pre-written. It's not valid. It has to be written specifically for what? For this particular husband. And we'll see it has to be under his instruction. If he doesn't instruct the sofer to do it, this sofer doesn't, so even if he writes it specifically for them, it's also not valid. It's the specifics, it's not valid. Right, right. So what's the argument? Yet nobody argues. What's the machlokes regarding the shtar kiddushin? The boy Reish Lakish posed the question. What is the halacha, the marriage document, which was written shelo lishmo, not specifically for this particular couple? Is it valid? Is it the same as a get or not as a get? Mau. Havayli tzi makshinon. Now, how do we know that you can marry with a document? With a shtar? So more in the first pair. Because there's a hekish. Torah says v'yotza v'hoyso. Right? Torah says she's divorced. V'hoyso l'shacher. What's v'hoyso? She's married. She's divorced from one husband. And v'hoyso l'shacher, she marries another. So over there, the Gemara says makish havayli tziyah. The Torah is equating the divorce, the kiddushin, the marriage. So just as a woman is divorced only with a document, even though it's only, the woman could be married with a document. So the Gemara says maybe it's only with a document. So the Gemara discusses there are other ways to be married. Okay, so ma'avayil litziyo, ma'itzi bin lishmo. What's the basis for the question? Just as the divorce has to be written specifically with the intent for the this particular husband, vayanam bin lishmo. So the marriage document also has to be written lishmo. Odilma no, havayis ladori machina, which means when we're equating the divorce, the marriage to the divorce, it's on a limited level. Why? Because factually, you can marry women in multiple ways. Let's say you marry a woman with money. Is there a concept of lishmo? You just give her something of value. So just as the means of marriage, when you give her money, it has no relevance to lishmo. So maybe the document also doesn't have to have any relevance to lishmo. Ma havaya the kes of lobino lishmo, havaya the shtar lobino lishmo. Let's stop for a moment. Okay. So this is the basis for his question. Reish Lakish originally we posed the question: do we fully equate it to get, or only partially? Because since marriage could manifest itself in a number of context. Therefore, just as the other context has no relevance to Lishma, so the star also doesn't have to meet that criteria, Lishma. Bosid the Bayo, Hoda Poshta. After he posed the question, he resolved the question, Rish Lakish. I would just want to get the full thing before you ask questions. Wait a second. The Yotza V'hoiso. So more answers. Rish Lakish concluded, says, V'yotza V'hoiso, Makish Havai Litzio. Mar, meaning, it has to be written Lishma Rish Lakish. That's Rish Lakish's conclusion. Mar, Vaishtar Kiddushin. Mar Islay the Rish Lakish. So Rameru says that the document, Mekarish, with the document, the star is a star Kiddushin. Ein B'Kodesh is because it was not written Lishma. Because Rameir understands from the Hekesh, it has to be fully the equivalent of the get. Just as the get has to meet that criteria, the star Kiddushin. Mar Leslie, Reb Loza argues. He said, no, one doesn't need Lishma. Mar Leslie the Rish Lakish. What do you want to ask, David? You know why? Because you're not reading the Gemara. But the Gemara says because I have to, no, because that's true normally. That's normally. But why over here different? Why over here do I see it differently? Because the Gemara says because Maksh Havayis Ladodi. Because I have two Hekeshim. I'm equating two things. Do I equate it to get, as the Pasuk says? But factually, there are other means of marriage. And the others ask, so maybe I equate it to the other means of marriage. The other mechanisms of marriage. The other mechanism of marriage doesn't have Lishma when you Mekadosh with Kesef. So which carries greater weight? The Vayotza V'hoiso, or equating it to the other mechanisms of marriage? So he concluded, because since the basis for shtar is get, therefore it's more logical to say we fully equate it to the get. Opposed to Kesef. Because the pasuk says explicitly Vayotza V'hoiso. It has to be identically the same. So therefore, Rish Lakish rules a get shtar kedusha shelo shema is not valid.
Even though the woman has a say in the marriage, he has no say in the divorce.
That aspect has no relevance here.
Right.
There's a concept of emishivin ala hekish. Even though you can differentiate in logic, but if the Torah equates A to B, they're equated. That's it. The document of A has to be like the document of B. No, nothing. Just specifically. No.
So what do you think when you give them the money?
No, you're giving it in marriage, but the object which causes the marriage has no relevance to Lishma.
I'm giving you this money because I want to be my wife.
No, you're giving the money for marriage, but the object, if you wouldn't give her money, you give her something post mishav pruta, and say, I'm giving you this in marriage. Does it have any value?
No.
Regardless of what your intent is,
No.
because you have to give a certain type. The object has to meet criteria. So it was minted for what? It was minted to put into a slot machine. Right? Getting back to the Mustach with Kufya. Okay? That's what was minted. Now, coin, he says, I'm married with the coin. So the object which causes the marriage with the intent was never Lishma. And when the man gives his wife the get, he says, I'm divorcing you with the get. You could think from today forever, but if the get itself didn't meet your criteria of being written specifically for this couple, it's not a valid get. The divorce is not a divorce. So similarly, we're saying, identically, if the Shtar Kedusha is not written specifically for this couple, Ein Mukadeshes, she's not married. That's Shtar Kedusha. We don't... No. Okay. Ibo Seimo. According to this possibility, the Gemara now is going to say another. The Gemara says you can see this 6 different ways. Everybody concurs with Rabbi Shokish. Even Rabbi Lozer. So what does Rabbi Lozer say? Right? Meaning, the document was written specifically for this couple. So what does Rabbi say? Shalomi Daito. Now what happens? The sofa, here's a neighbor, and the walls are thin, right? And they've been fighting for the past year. And the man says, I swear on his mother's grave, he's divorcing his wife. Sofa says, what, I have to start working on it tomorrow? I already know he's coming tomorrow morning. Tomorrow we're going to meet at the sofa's residence to write the get. So the man, he gets to work at night, but he was never instructed. He was never instructed by the husband to write that get. Or so he's writing the get lishma. He's writing it specifically for the couple. But since it's shlo midato, since it was not authorized by the husband, the halacha is by get, it's not a valid get. So what is the halacha regarding a shtar kiddushin? What about he instructs the sofer to write a shtar kiddushin, but she's unaware of it? So by get, what would you say? Get, she's irrelevant. Her intent has no relevance. He's the one who decides when he wants to terminate the relationship or not. But marriage, it's a two-sided affair. She has to consent. So that's the... Wait. We're equating kiddushin to get. By get, it has to be with his intent. Not only the shema, he has to authorize. So we're saying B is like egg. So when we're equating bite means just as the get, only he has to authorize it. Maybe also the kiddushin, only he has to be the one to authorize it. Or do we say we can differentiate? The reason why by get only he who has to authorize it, because she has no say in the matter. But kiddushin, which she has as much say as he has in the matter, she has to authorize the writing as he has to authorize it. So if it's only his authorization, not hers, it's not a valid shtar kiddushin. That's the discussion now. Do you need, as you need midato, do you need midato? Do you need her consent? That's the discussion. And this is an argument with Rav and Ravino. Rav Papa, Rav Shrav, you can miflagi. Dietmar, kosvo lishmo. The get was written specifically for the couple. Shalomi dato. But was without her understanding that it was being written. It was without her authorization. Rav Ravina Amri Mukudeshes. Rav Ravina says she's married. It's a valid document. Although it was written without her authorization, it's valid. Rav Pav Rav Shravi Amri Eina Mukudeshes. She's not married. 1 second. Why? So again, do we equate it to kiddushin, to gittin? And we had this in the earlier. That's the argument, exactly what we said. We rule halacha, it has to be as it has to be written lishma. A shtar kiddushin has to be written lishma. It has to be written midato. If you marry, we're equating it, and differentiations because get, she has no say in the matter. In regard to kiddushin, because since you need her full consent, so she is no less than him in regarding authorizing the writing of that document. So I asked the question when we learned it back on Daf Tes. I asked the question that there's a famous Ran in Nidorim that the Ran says that in regard to marriage, Isha oses atzma hefke kesodeh. Normally, when a person transfers an asset from one domain to another, you have the intent of the one who transfers it and the intent of the acquirer who's it's being brought into his domain. Right? So the question is, when a man marries a woman, is she, as he's marrying her, she's giving herself over? Well, no. She's not in opposition, and when she's not in opposition, he's able to acquire her as a wife. Whatever, but that's the Ran. Has to win the Dorim. So the Ran says, Isha osa atzma hefke kesodeh. Person disowns a field. Now somebody wants to take possession of that field. There's only one person involved, the one who takes possession of the field, because the field is ownerless. So as long as the woman is not in opposition to be married, so who's the full participant in the marriage? It says kika chishisha. We had earlier. What happens if the woman says, as you take me, I'm taking you? Right? The Gemara says before that it's not a valid marriage. This whole problem with the double ring ceremony. Right? A woman says, I will only allow you to marry me if I could marry you. Let's say she would express it that way. It's masla mashkos bator. It's not a valid marriage. There says marriage is kika chishisha. The man takes the woman does not take the man. Right? What does that mean? Osa atzma kefker. So there you can learn. She's giving herself over. She's not marrying. She's not taking him. She's transferring herself into the domain of the husband when he gives her the object of value. But the Ran says hefker. Osa atzma. So you have to say midato means, but still, she has to acquiesce to allow him to acquire her. Right? So that's why you need dato. By get, you need nothing. As it's I feel about korch, even against the will, you give a get on a Torah level.
She says nothing though.
No, it has nothing to do with the nothing. It has nothing because the silence. Silence is also silence.
That's also acceptable.
No, but silence could be I agree to transfer myself. Right? Silence could be I agree to transfer myself.
Correct.
No, but we're saying, but the Ran says that's not what marriage is. It's not she's transferring herself. She's not in opposition. She's not giving herself over.
But isn't that also a way of accepting this man for both of them?
He is.
Which is this story.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but what are we dato? Some say,
That's her doctor.
yeah, what's the dato? Dato means she acquiesce. By get, there's no acquiescing over there. That's the point I'm bringing out. That's the point I'm bringing out.
If you bring out it's a single step. It comes over.
Document the same thing.
Document he has to, before he writes it, she has to say, I'm willing to do this.
Yeah, what happens if she changes her mind? After the document's written properly, she says, I'm not interested in getting married.
She can do that.
So she can do it. So,
I'm saying, but he needs
so
to
therefore
first-
what?
They have to agree to write a document.
So therefore what? So before he married, so before he marries her with an object of value, the husband has to find an object of value that he owes that he should be able to give the wife. It's a technicality. Has no relevance. But what's the marriage? Giving it to her. Okay? You know, he has to be born before he marries her. He has to become an adult. I think there are many steps until he comes to the marriage. Okay?
Discussed the last few weeks the concept of a person who doesn't know if something is happening, but we can say with certainty the person would agree if they were to know. So why doesn't that work?
No.
According to the one
First of all, we discussed this yesterday. I mean, he gives her a document which wasn't written properly, right? But the value of the document is worth a penny. So, yeah, we have a question, right? But the Chachamim say, if it's worth a cent, she'll be married. Even though as a document, it's not a valid document, so what's the argument? Rameir says definitely nothing. Rabbi Lo says definitely yes. And the Chachamim say, it depends. Even as a document, it may not work, but as Shava Kesef, it works. So the first two hold Shava Kesef doesn't even play a role here. Because since her mind is to be married with a document, her mind is not to be married with value. Therefore, Rameir and Rebbe Lezer say it's not even a consideration that this marriage is kesef. So Rameir says it's not a valid document. She's not married. Rebbe Lezer says it is a valid document. She is married. Chum say, you know something? Even if factually the halacha may be like Rameir, but if it's a shava kesef, she will be married. Why? So it's a different mindset. So that's what we explained. Her mindset is, I want to be married. Whatever way, and he wants to marry her, it's no question. They're not experts in the law. Whatever it takes for marriage, that's what I want. So if the document's worth a cent, it's an act of marriage. Although he's not thinking, because factually he is giving something of value. When you write something in the Shema, when you write something, you have to think specifically that you're doing it. It's not something, if I would have known, I'd be agreeable. You have to be authorized. The man already declared he's divorcing his wife. But nevertheless, you need the authorization. There's no question. If the sofa would have been touched, he definitely would have authorized it. You need a conscious authorization. Without openly being aware that you've authorized it, it's not valid. I thought it would get. Okay.
He wants to surprise her. Okay? So he says to the sofa, write the document, marriage, the ketubah. Okay?
Not the ksuba. There's not the ksuba this. So this is the marriage document.
Write the marriage document.
Imagine it's harei. It says in the harei mukadeshesli, with this shtar, with this document.
Write the document, okay?
It's not a monetary document.
I understand. Write the document, and I'm going to surprise her. And he presents it to her, and she's thrilled.
Okay.
Now, had she known before,
It's not sufficient. You have to have conscience. She has.
you're saying it's no good.
It's no good. It's not valid. We rule it's not valid.
One side of the argument is no good.
That's the machlokas. You need dato or don't you need dato? So we're speaking according to it. She has to authorize the writing of that document. It has to be bedato. If it's not bedato, it's not valid. What do you mean? Because we're learning that from get. Just as get. What does A have to do with B and C have to do with D?
You're saying get and marriage. Now,
A man, can I ask you a question? A man, the sofa writes the get specifically in mind for this man, this couple. And the man takes and divorces his wife. Well, you see, he wants to divorce her. No, I'm asking. You see, clearly, this if he would have been asked, he would have said yes. But yet it's not valid. Because the document wasn't authorized by the one who decides to divorce his wife. You need his authorization. So by marriage, where she has to be in agreement, as he has to be in agreement to marry her, therefore you need both of their authorization. It's the exact same thing. Exactly the same.
You need Lishma first. Perfect analogy for David. It's like root canal. You need a post first before you can put on a crown.
Okay. Mashmita Eitzel Har Sinai, I'm not sure. we didn't get to parshas Sinai, Bahar. Okay. Now we're entering. Now the Gemara wants to say. Yeah. We rule that you have, as you have his intent, you need her authorization. No, it's like, right, it's like the sofer would say, you want to divorce her? I have something ready, immediately. It's not good? He pre-wrote the document. It's irrelevant.
It's not quite the same because here you have the husband, one party.
I understand. Doesn't make it. But the Torah says, but here the Torah says you need both parties.
No, but for the divorce, if the husband had the
Because
intent, and she has
of course,
no idea
because she's irrelevant.
because she's irrelevant.
But marriage, she's very relevant. Because you need her full consent. But when we learn B from A, what we're learning in the Hekesh, that whoever is the Baal Hashtar, you know what the Baal means? Whoever who is, it's essential that their intent should be there, that person's intent has to be there. That's by get. But kiddushin, she's essential. She's no less essential than he is. We're learning a principle from this. The principle get is the essential party has to be the one to authorize it. That's what get says. So similarly, by kiddushin, who are the essential parties? The husband and the wife. That's what I'm drawing from get. Whoever is the essential party to bring this about, you need their intent. Get it's a separate. Of course.
So with a real estate transaction, if the seller has no idea that the buyer is preparing documents,
It's irrelevant.
the buyer prepares the documents, he has all the intent.
No, it's not valid. A bar is not permitted.
No, he does this and then he presents the documents to the seller.
It's illegal.
The seller then becomes
But they were unsigned.
They were unsigned. The documents were written and was with all the intent of the prospective buyer. Seller knows nothing about it, and when he's presented with the documents, he's agreeable. And he puts his signature on
No,
the
because there's no the Torah never said you need lishma. You need nothing. There it's just having information on a page. That's it. But here the Torah said by get where you have the intent. This is explicit, something unique to get. It's not unique to writing a document. This is to divorce, and because we're equating marriage to divorce, as the intent is essential to give it its viability, the intent is essential to give the viability of the document for kiddushin.
That's only on one side of the argument.
But the Torah is equate.
Now, the other side, from him, says good.
No, it's good for Shabbat Pruta. But not as a you're not marrying with a document. You're marrying with the value of the paper.
So it's never good lishma from that point.
No, it's not. It's not valid.
Arguing on that.
Right? Correct. Correct.
Arguing on the value of the paper.
Not the. If the paper has the value, then they are married.
There's no agreement or disagreement whatsoever.
No, it says the Chachamim are unclear. Do we rule like A or B? It says, but it's irrelevant. Even though it may not be as a shtar, as a document, but kesef, it will be kesef. If it has the value of a pruta.
So we're really separating three types of marriage into a shtar, kesef, and bia, because you were saying the shtar alone is just not
The Torah is saying it. What is the basis for shtar?
we're packaging everything, so why should it be one?
No, because the Torah is only equating the means of marriage through a document. If you use a document, it has to be similar or identical to the get.
But marriage also includes kesher.
But it has no relevance to this particular aspect. Okay.
But Rabbi, some of the Chachamim are in agreement that it does work if she doesn't know what's going on.
Wait a second.
No?
Which Chachamim?
I thought
We have Reb Meir, Reb Elazar, and the Chachamim.
I thought that there's a dispute here. The man authorizes the document to be opened with proper intent.
Okay.
She knows nothing about it. Don't we have some of the Chachamim
Yeah,
saying
but they are not the Chachamim. They are Amoroim. That's an argument among the Amoroim. So we're saying that their argument is what Reb Meir and Reb Elazar are arguing. Possibly. We're giving 6 different possibilities. What exactly is the basis for their argument?
take out the possibility that the document has value. Let's suppose we're not dealing with that.
It has no value. Let's say it's...
It has no value. Are there Chachamim that say it works?
Yes,
And what is their reason?
because you only need his intent. You don't need her. You need his authorization, not hers.
So there is a group
Yes, that's Reb Elazar.
that's
That is Reb Elazar. Reb Meir says, I disagree. Reb Meir says, as you need his authorization, you need her authorization. No, her authorization. She has to be that told me she has to be in agreement. She has to be aware the document's being written on her behalf. No, that's not lishma. The sofer's intent is for this particular couple, but that's not sufficient. She has to be in agreement that it should be written on her behalf before he starts writing. Before he starts writing that document.
He can never surprise her with that document.
Correct. According to Rabbi Elazar. According to Rabbi Meir. According to Rabbi Meir. Correct.
So who the Chachamim go for?
They're Mesupik. They said they're Mesupik. So therefore they say, so it should be Sofim Kudeshes. If this document we give her should be Sofim Kudeshes, however, it's a Shaveh Pruta, she's Varim Kudeshes.
If it's not a show, she's suffering.
Sofim Kudeshes, yes.
They don't.
It says they're Mesupik. Look, if you have such an expertise in Shas, then you make that comment. It's unusual. No, it's no. Ein Heker Shel Mechza. Okay. Nebekani Tanah. We have another way to see it. This Gemara is very unusual. We're going through multiple possibilities to try to understand exactly what the basis of the argument is. Nebekani Tanoi. Titania. Also, Asi Lishirayim Unizomim. Person takes gold or silver and he goes to a jeweler and he says, I want you to make me bracelets or nose rings, earrings, the tabos or rings, the karasheniloch. So the jeweler goes and he takes the gold or the silver and he develops this into a ring, and the jeweler says, you know something, the gold or the silver you give me, I want to marry you with it. Bakarasheniloch. Kevach also Nukudeshes, Divra Meir. Meir says, he could say to her, when he gives her back the ring, he says, I'm marrying you. We'll see exactly what they are. No, he's saying it. He is the jeweler.
Right, but she's giving him the gold.
No. He made the ring. Now he finished making the ring. He says to her, I'm marrying you. Well, I understand that. So who's the jeweler? He's the jeweler. And he's marrying with the cost of the labor that she owes him. So same as Makadosh B'milveh. That's right, it's Makadosh B'milveh. As a jeweler, she owes him a fee for what he did. So, but that's already a debt. We'll see in a moment what the argument is. So it says, Rameir says, he has to give her the value of the money that she owes him. Let's say she would pay him, then he'd give it back to her. When it says, unless he gives her the money, she's not married. Is it the money? Oh, we speak of the money that's owed, the fee for his work, for his labor. El b'mai. B'mai bo mekacho. So what is he marrying with? If he doesn't have to give her money, what is he giving her? The gold, the jewelry is hers. The gold's her gold. Ella b'mo menacher. We're speaking about other money. See, it's not the labor. The labor, see, it's a misinterpretation there. We're trying to figure out what is he marrying with. If he's giving her money, she's giving him money. He's not giving money, he's not giving money. So we're speaking other money. He's marrying with other. The only way it works if he gives her other money. But the money that's owed now, that's not sufficient. Yeah? So evidently, what's the argument? The labor, the money that's owed to her, to him, to the jeweler, it's a milveh, right? It's the labor he owes her, she owes him. He says, the money you owe me, I'm marrying with that money. So what's the machlokes? Seemingly, makadosh ben milveh. In fact, she's giving her nothing. Wait a second. That's interesting. When a person gives money, not as an employee, I'm giving you gold, I'm commissioning you to develop a piece of jewelry for me. So the person who's developing is not an employee of the one who had given the gold. He's an independent contractor. After I finish, I charge you a fee. The fee is this. So now the question is, at the end, when he comes and presents his bill for whatever, let's say they agreed, it's going to cost $1,000. So if you work it at hour-wise, whatever it is, that means every moment I work for you, retroactively, every little bit of work, if I finish the project, you owe me so much. But when you owe me so much, it's only you paying the debt. But all along, as I was working, the debt was accumulating. However, it's contingent. You have to finish the jewelry. You have to finish the project that you were commissioned for. But what is that? That's the Yeshlo Schiris Mitchila Vatsof. Meaning, when I finish retroactively, the time that I was working to develop whatever I was commissioned for is what? That's a debt that was accumulating. So at the end, when you owe me, let's say, $1,000, what am I marrying you with? Right now, you're not giving me anything. He's not giving her anything. He's giving her what? He's relieving her of the debt that accumulated over the period of time that he developed the jewelry. That's Yeshlis Chiris Mitchilo Atsof. That when he commissioned him, the debt was accumulating, and what? And it's due at the end. It's like a person lends a person money. He says that the loan has to be paid in 30 days. I mean, the debt, it's owed all along. But when does it have paid? It has paid in 30 days. Here, as the person develops the jewelry, the debt is accumulating. However, I can't collect the debt unless I finish the jewelry. Now that I finished, now you owe me. What do you owe me? The labor that I've invested to develop this, whatever was agreed upon, it's due when the product is finished, when the piece of jewelry is finished. So what is that? That's chirus. That's a debt. I'm relieving you of the money that you owe me. So that's makadosh b'milveh. Wait, you'll hear the alternative in a minute.
Same idea. Somebody supplies somebody else with raw material. He says, make me something like this. The way that it works is the person, the craftsman, who does the making, owns the object.
Look at this. That's the next possibility. No, it's not simple.
They own the object.
There's such a position which we can discuss. That's the next possibility.
He may actually have an ownership in that jewelry.
Good, terrific. That's called yesh shvach umen bekli. That's going to be on the second side of the page. That's another possibility. What the argument is, that the craftsman, no, and that increase is a partnership. Good. That's going to be another possibility of what the base of the argument is. To be continued.